We all know that Carlo Ancelotti's job was under severe threat a few weeks ago, right? And we all know that Carlo Ancelotti has lost the support of a lot of fans, including me, who was somebody that backed Carlo earlier on in the season when a lot of people were calling for his head. But I am now somebody who does want Carlo sacked, right? Now, before we get into the story, when I say that I want Carlo out, I do not mean I want him out right now. I believe Carlo should be here until the end of the season because I don't believe there's anybody else available right now in world football that can do a better job. Now, I do think a lot of the issues that we have are Carlo's fault, but I think he is being scapegoated a bit. I think our board has to hold smoke as well because the squad building has not been good, right? Look how thin our team was, even before all the injuries. Look at how imbalanced we were. And that's because the board, Florentino Perez, did not sign players. So now, yes, we've been struggling, right? For a large part of this season, we have been shit. Now, you could blame Carlo, right? Again, I think the board gets a lot of smoke, and so does Carlo, right? For me, Carlo's tactics have been bad. His subs have been bad, right? The fact that this guy is scared to drop Mbappe, even though he's been stinking it out in some games. The fact that he's underused Arda Güler, underused Endrick. The fact that we are the team in La Liga that have used their substitutions the least. The fact that Vinicius just got injured against Leganes because this guy does not want to make subs, even though we're controlling games. So it's a bunch of factors that I consider when I say Carlo out. And I believe that AC Milan game was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Because we just came off of getting our ass whipped by Barcelona. They absolutely dog-walked us. 4-0. And then we lose 3-1 to a shit AC Milan side. And Carlo is bringing on Dani Ceballos before Arda Güler. Yeah, that right there. Literally, something in me broke. And I finally said Carlo out. Now, look, Carlo Ancelotti is an absolute legend of this club. Okay? And I don't believe he should be sacked. I personally think Carlo will stay at Real Madrid, but I do not think he will be our manager after this season. I think he'll be like an ambassador of the club or something like that. Like, we'll keep him involved in some capacity. But it's time for new ideas. It's time for new tactics, right? Now, let's get into this report because it seems like the club have already identified Carlo's replacement if he is sacked in the middle of the season. Now, hear this first report, chat. So, Justin, after the loss to AC Milan, Florentino Perez made a decision that if the team loses to Osasuna, he will fire Ancelotti and hire Santiago Solari. But what ended up happening is that against Osasuna, right before the international break, we dropped a masterclass. That performance against Osasuna was the best one that we've had all season, and it's not close. And I remember thinking to myself, what the hell happened? Like, how come we couldn't play like this all season? Well, yeah, Carlo put in a coaching masterclass because his job was literally on the line. But that performance versus Osasuna, I mean, my goodness me, what a game that was. We cooked for 93 minutes. So Carlo's job was safe. But I told you guys as well, after that AC Milan game, I did say that I wanted Carlo sacked that same day, right? Like, bro, my head was gone after that Milan game. But I did say, if we lose versus Osasuna, you have to sack him. And I truly do believe he would have been sacked. Now, I know that the source is not that credible, according to a lot of Madrid fans, right? I'm talking about Relevo. A lot of people are saying that they just talk shit and they have no idea what they're talking about. But I honestly do believe this report. Now, what I really want to get into is who they're saying his replacement would be. Right? Now, chat, I don't know how long you guys have been following Real Madrid. But if you're not familiar with Santiago Solari, there's a reason why not. Okay? This guy was our manager for maybe 7 months before he was sacked. Now, this was about 6-7 years ago. I think he was our manager during the 2018-2019 season. Because we had Lopetegui. Lopetegui was hired in the summer. And Lopetegui was so shit, they sacked him in October. Lopetegui was in the job or September. He was either sacked in October or September. One of those two. He wasn't there for very long. And then they brought in Solari. Now, I'm really trying to jog my memory. I don't believe, obviously, he wasn't successful because he was only here for like 6-7 months. We sacked him after we got our ass whipped by Ajax. I remember Ajax came to the Bernabeu and beat us 4-1. Now that I'm thinking about it, Solari literally gave Erik ten Hag a career. That was the game that put Ten Hag on the map. Yeah, Ajax cooked us. And he was our manager. Unless I'm wrong. I swear it was him. But while he was our manager, like we were just okay, right? I don't remember the style of play, but I do remember 18-19 season. I think the only thing that we won was the Club World Cup. But there were some other positives that happened that season, right? That was the same year that we signed Vinicius. Solari was the first manager that really believed in Vinny. You have to give Solari credit for that, right? Because he played Vinicius a lot, and he gave him a lot of freedom. And back then, Vinicius was looking like a Bolivian, okay? Vinicius, his first few years at Real Madrid was not the best before he got that injury. Because Vinicius, he looked like a very talented player, right? But his decision-making in the final third and his finishing was shit. And Solari believed in him. Solari also played Fede Valverde a lot. So, Club World Cup, Vinicius, Valverde. Those are the three things that I could think about to give him credit for. But after we lost to Ajax, they killed us 4-1. Remember, chat, that season that Solari was our manager, we just did the three-peat in the Champions League. And then we go out, I believe, in either the quarterfinals or the round of 16 to Ajax in that kind of fashion. I remember I was watching the game and I was like, what is going on? I couldn't believe it. I was in college watching that. I was in math class. I forget which math class it was, but I remember my teacher's up there lecturing. Brother, I'm on my laptop watching the game, locked in. Hakimi was cooking us. David Neres, I think, scored that day. David Neres smoked a blunt before he played us. That guy always looks high. But to be fair, right, the 18-19 season, that was always going to be a hard one because Ronaldo left the club the summer before the season started. So that was always a weird season, kind of. And again, I think we only won the Club World Cup. I don't believe we won La Liga. I don't believe we won the Spanish Super Cup or Copa del Rey. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, guys, give me a little bit of grace, okay? I'm trying to think from my memory here. But, yeah, that season was so weird. Because, as I said, Lopetegui came in. He got sacked really fast. Then they brought in Solari. Then they sacked him, and then we brought back Zidane. Yeah, we brought back Zinedine Zidane. So I say all that to say, absolutely not. And you know what's actually funny? I believe Solari works for the club right now. I don't know what role he has with us, but he's involved with the club in some capacity. And no thank you. No thank you in terms of him being the interim manager. If you want to bring in somebody, if there is a possibility that Carlo gets sacked, go bring in Zidane then. I'm pretty sure he would be open to the idea of returning. But what I remember of Solari's time, those 7 months, was not good. Was not good. So, yeah, I do not believe that we would sack Carlo to then bring him in. It makes no sense. Why not then give it to Raul on an interim basis, right? Raul is with La Fabrica. He's with the B team. He's been managing there for a while now. Why not give him it on an interim basis? But again, I don't necessarily want Carlo sacked right now. But yes, I do believe that we need a new manager come next season. But I want to know what you guys think about this news. I told you guys from before that Carlo Ancelotti's job was underneath serious threat after that AC Milan. I literally thought we were going to wake up to Carlo being sacked. So the fact that he even made it to the Osasuna game, that's showing that Florentino Perez has gone soft. Because the Florentino Perez that I thought I knew would have sacked Carlo in the 60th minute. But would you guys take Santiago Solari back as our manager? Nah, not for me. Not for me. I just don't have fond memories. Like, I don't remember everything that happened that season. But I just remember it wasn't the best. And we still had, like, Benzema, Bale, Modric, right? I think that was when Asensio was balling as well, right? Asensio was considered, like, a really good player. He kind of fell off, injuries and all that. Danny Carvajal, Toni Kroos, Varane, Marcelo. Like, he had a good team, but he just didn't do the best job with managing them. So, yeah, I would not be in favor of sacking Carlo Ancelotti to bring in Solari. No. But, yeah, I want to know what you guys think. I saw this, and I was like, huh?